What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Happy Friday, and welcome to the Memorial Day special edition of the Local Marketing Institute Q&A Live with myself, Ben Fisher, from Stay Demand. You can reach me on Blue Sky at, well, hey, Ben D. Fisher. And my fabulous co-host, Greg Gifford from Search Lab Digital. You can reach him, and guess what? Greg Gifford with 2 G's, also on Blue Sky. We don't care about Twitter anymore. Yeah, all right.
Nobody's there anyway.
I know, right? Exactly. It's like a ghost town. It's like Barry and like Joy.
Yeah.
It's great.
And Mike King still posts there.
Oh, yeah. Nobody. Yeah. It's interesting. It's dead. Awesome. Anyway, and you can join us on the Facebook, or actually just Facebook, fine, in the Local Marketing Institute Connect, where we have over 2.6 thousand members. And then finally, if you want Greg and I in your ear, anytime, any day, whatever you're doing, you can find us on Apple, Google, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. So happy Friday, everybody.
And happy almost Day weekend.
Yes, happy almost Memorial. I don't know, dude. I'm calling it. I'm just going to call it now. It is Memorial Day weekend.
It is. It is.
It is. Yeah. And I'm going to be out in Los Angeles, Hollywood specifically, going to Universal Studios, man.
A little bit jealous, my friend.
It's going to be so much fun. But yeah. We should do that one day. We should do like a group trip, just for the LMI people, it's like everybody just come
pretty rad
and just go do something somewhere. That would be kind of interesting. Shout out to everybody in the chat. How y'all doing? If you're going to be doing anything interesting this weekend, this Memorial Day weekend, please shout out and tell us what you're doing into the chat. Yes, and please, let's all visit Canada. Why not? Santa Fe. Okay, right on. Okay, cool. And yes, if you have any Q&A, please drop it in the Q&A. If you want us to roast something or do anything, help you out with the suspension, talk to you about verification stuff, whatever, just go ahead and pop it into the Q&A. Today's episode, we are only going to do a half an hour. We may go a little bit over, but for the most part, a half an hour. I have a plane to catch. And in 2 weeks, we are going to be off. Greg is going to be out of town. But then for the rest of the year, we're all here every other week. So thanks for coming, everybody. We love you. And let's get started. And Stephen, the answer is yes. There we go. See, and that worked.
I literally had to plug my old laptop back in to be able to have the sound effects back because the support team still cannot figure out why it doesn't work on my new MacBook.
Right. And Nate's asking us, we're going to be off. When have we ever been on?
Oh, that definitely calls for a...
All right. Okay. Fine. So let's just get into it.
Well, that means it's time to start with the news.
Yes. All right. Sounds good. So we actually only have one piece of news today. I haven't gotten around to digesting Google I/O. Barry says local search is going to change. We are going to adapt. Saying that, basically that the AI search from Google is going to really shake everything up. Again, I haven't gotten into it yet. I could see it, Sure, why not? But that's okay. We'll just change to, doing local SEO to AI local SEO.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So we only got really one piece of news today, and that is you may find that the knowledge panel seems to be missing when you search for your business or for your customer's business or whatever the heck. You're doing a direct search and there's no KP, but you get the edit in search. So this is a bug. Google's aware of it. They are working on it. I guess the only other piece of news is well, there's some stuff going on around about Q&A, isn't there? That we learned
Yeah, like it
recently.
went away and then it came back, and now they said, well, it's back if you search in certain places, but it only shows up in maps, or it only shows up if you click into a map pack. But if you do a search for a business and
Yeah.
only see the panel for the GBP for the business, it's not displayed, which just seems weird. Like, why would you, if it's questions and answers from the community about a business and it only shows in the Maps app, or it only shows if a map pack was there but doesn't show in the individual, I just don't think they really know what they're doing. And I would guess because enough people complained about it when it went away, that they're testing if we leave it in a couple of places, does it get any engagement? But we
Yeah.
all know it never really got engagement. And if they're switching to the whole AI first situation anyway, why are they going to leave the weird wonky thing in there that nobody used?
And not to mention the AI, to be fair, could probably actually generate better Q&A than most humans could, you know. But the fact that I still am going to stick by my prediction, which is it is a feature which is going to be deprecated and it's going to be replaced by something like posts.
Yeah, I think so, for sure.
So that's I'm sticking to it. So
that's our only news, which means it's time to go to questions. So we're going to start with the stuff that we didn't get to last time. So the first question comes from KS, which I don't see a KS here. So KS, if you're listening on the replay, here's the answer to your question. And the question is, good morning. A former employee hijacked our verified Google Business profile, which was originally for Vista bail bonds, after refusing to transfer access during a lawful business sale. He changed the name, address, and phone number and website, replied to existing reviews to falsely imply business continuity. We submitted a redressal form with supporting documents, including the purchase agreement, lease, and review screenshots, but the issue remains unresolved. Also, we posted in the Google Business Profile Help Forum here and gave us a link. We requested permanent suspension to prevent further consumer confusion. Here is the hijacked profile link. So, questions. Do you recommend posting this inquiry in another category to reach a product expert more efficiently? And would it help to upload our supporting documents, purchase agreement, lease, etc., to a Google Drive folder and include the link in the help forum? Thanks for your guidance and support.
Yeah, so this is really this is a weird one. And you know, the first thing I have to think about when I'm looking at this is like, okay, so you gave X person money to buy business assets, and they are being a total ass about it. Normally, it doesn't happen when you get money for your business. But regardless, to answer the question, in this situation, you really only have one recourse, and that is because the ad is if you still have control over the address, try to claim it. Try to get ownership of it. If they decline you, which they will, then you go for verification. Well, guess what? When you go for verification, the name's different. It's going to probably be different than the signage. It's probably going to get suspended right away, more than likely. Google's not going to intervene, by the way. So, you know, they're just not. They don't get involved in legal disputes.
And posting on the forum isn't going to help because none of the product experts can do anything about it.
No, exactly. Yeah, you are kind of alone on this one, in the sense that, again, Google's not going to intervene on your behalf or anything like that. They're not going to look at your legal documents. They don't care about them. You could go to support and explain the issue, but they're just going to direct you and say, well, if it's yours, go ahead and claim it. So as long as you have the address, you're good to go. If you don't have control of the address, I'm kind of going back to the whole, did this sale actually happen? It's something doesn't sound right there. I don't know. What do you think, buddy?
No, yeah. I mean, I would just honestly do what you said to do. It seems a little nefarious to go try to claim it and know that it's going to get suspended. But hey, that works. But also, since it was a legal sale of the business and the employee just didn't want to transfer stuff, it'd be really easy for you to go and claim that business. And if you want to keep the reviews, you could try to claim it and then it gets suspended. And then during the reassessment period, you could try to make your case and say, hey, look, this is really us and this guy did this. I don't know how much luck you're going to have with that, but really there's not much to do other than just go try to claim it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, at the end of the day, if it's worth it, you might actually have to go a legal route too.
Yeah.
It
kind of depends on
fraud.
And I wish that KS was here because it kind of depends on the reviews. I didn't even click the link. I wonder how many reviews they have. Because there's only 32 reviews. It's not like you're killing yourself to just get it suspended and start a new one from scratch.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah. Goodbye.
Oh, it's Jesse, not KS, and Jesse's here. So he changed the address. But now it says In and Out bail bonds. But it was originally Vista bail bonds. So what does it matter? Just start a new one, Jesse. If you don't have control, if he changed the name and moved it, then whatever. Just start a new one and let it go. It was only 32 reviews. It's not like it even really matters.
No, it matters not at all. So yeah, Jesse, just go ahead and just kind of like move on with life. Is pretty much what you got to do. Maybe
that's about all you can do then.
Okay, there you go. Right. Well, Dre has a question for you. Okay.
All right, let's do it.
All right. And that question is, it's the $1 million question, man. So to assist with AI gen searches, what are the 1, 2, and 3 steps? No more than 3, by the way, Greg, to ensure my local biz clients show up in local AI search.
So first thing I'm going to say is you got to stop thinking about this like it's SEO. Asking a question, framing it like, how can I ensure my business shows up in the results is the same thing as how can I ensure my customer shows up #1 in the map pack everywhere in New York City? It's just not going to happen. And there's no way to reliably track rankings anyway in Google. And there's definitely not a way to track rankings in AI results because there are no rankings. And the search query is going to be different every single time that somebody asks something to ChatGPT or Claude or Perplexity. So it's more about thinking about the concepts that you want visibility for and making sure that you have amazing content that answers those questions. We went through this whole content evolution where in the early days, content was all about personality and distinguishing yourself because you have a cooler vibe than the other people. And then it became these long form, 1,000+ word, 1,500, 2,000 word pieces of content that no human ever really read, but it's what showed up in Google and it's what ended up causing conversions because people would just land on it and call you. And now it's getting back away from that and going back to information gain. What can you share that's helpful to your customers that your competitors aren't sharing, and what's different about you? So it's making sure that your content is not shitty SEO skyscraper content anymore, and making sure that it is well written, that it has a unique point of view, that it's got an emotional connection answer to the question that your customer is actually asking, which means stop doing SEO, start doing real marketing. That's literally all it's going to take. Now, there's a lot of people out there going, oh, put in schema markup. That's going to help you. That's people guessing. Nobody fucking knows yet. There's nobody out there that can definitively say, if you do this, this, and this, it helps you show up in an AI overview. There are people that are like, look, my client wasn't showing up in an AI overview, and I saw this citation link, and I went to that site, and I added my information or updated the information, and now my client's showing up. Okay, great. For that one query, you change things. It doesn't mean that client now shows up for anything related to that query. So you really have to change the way that you think about doing marketing. We're going back to billboards because we're not going to get click information from any of this AI overview or AI powered search stuff, which means we're back to billboards. We're putting up a billboard for brand awareness and you're not going to be able to track the people that got there, that's what you're going to have to do. And I'm not trying to scare you. I think in local, we're actually a bit isolated from the massive changes coming to AI search, because at least in the Google version of search, that generative AI search results experience is still going to rely on the agentic approach, which means the AI agent is going to go out and do multiple searches to pull the information and then come back and give you your personalized answer to the question that you asked. Well, one of those things is going to be going and looking at Google Maps to see what's actually nearby. So my guess, and I have a lot of people that agree with me, is that your Google Business Profile will still matter. It just won't be the main initial point of entry to your digital presence online. But that information will still be important. Having correct, awesome information on your website will be important. We're going to start backing away from let's just churn out content for the sake of content. But you also have to realize a lot of that upper funnel stuff that you used to go after, you don't need to go after anymore. If it's a simple question that can be answered in 1 or 2 sentences, you don't need a 1,000-word blog post to answer that question, because your customer doesn't need that. So it's match your content to the questions that customers are asking. Think broader instead of narrow, and don't worry about tracking clicks.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I mean, and I agree with you on some of the points. I think there's a lot of different nuance, right, behind this question also. And they did announce, actually, I believe at Google I/O, it's one of those pieces, that there will be some tracking actually that's coming finally. For
the only
AI.
tracking is going to be for ads, though.
No, for citations as well. I was just reading about this morning. So you should be able to track all of this in Google Search Console. Should be able to. You know, I think what it really, all of this comes down to, and you kind of nailed it when you're talking about just general marketing, right? I think there's 2 components. The first component is just organic SEO. Do what you've been doing. This is not
been doing.
Well, this has not changed in over 25 years, by the way. Okay. From way back in the 90s, doing SEO today is pretty much, it's still the same thing. And if you've been doing that all along, you've always been rewarded, right? I don't think that's going to change. I think organic SEO is still the way it is. The interface and how we view those results, that's what's changing, right? Yeah. I mean, you know, who's prepared for, say, a year or 2 from now when everything is AR search results? Okay, you're going to have augmented reality. That's coming, whether you like it or not. How do you optimize for it? I don't know yet, right? When it comes to the AI overviews, going back to the simplest part of marketing, which is controlling your narrative online, okay? Controlling your data online. Making sure that you're inserting yourself into the news narrative, into the questions and answers type of narrative, like you were saying, right? Answering those long tail queries. Great example is right here, is a search that I did this morning. When Greg and I were sitting here talking about what are we doing this weekend, we were started talking about these VIP passes, which, you know, this VIP experience, you can get a universal. What did I do? I did go to Google for this one. Strangely enough, I usually go to ChatGPT, but I went to Google for this one. And lo and behold, there's the AI overview, and it answers my question. And the 3 top sources that it's using for citations, 2 are going to be Universal Studios. The 3rd one's Laughing Lindsay. Okay. So I click on Laughing Lindsay. She's got a review which covers the pros and the cons and different tips for the VIP experience. It's a very, very simple page. And actually what ends up happening is it ends up highlighting on the page what they actually took out. But anyway, my point is that by doing good marketing in general, you may show up in the AI overviews. You touched on another point, and which is not necessarily AI overview, but it's more of the deep research function of things, right? AI agents, for instance, fall into this category as well. But if you do deep research, say with ChatGPT or something like that, you'll find out something pretty darn amazing. If you actually read through the logic and what it's doing, it is doing well beyond what you would normally do to get your answers. And then it's collating that data, and then it's changing its questions based on what it learns. So it'll go through, and you could ask it a simple thing, but it'll do like 40 different types of queries to get to what you're looking for, actually. And when it comes to local, basically, the thing that you can do today is if you have like a service customer or somebody, you know, like a lawyer or something of that nature, right? Make sure that their information is accurate on the different aggregators. Make sure it is accurate for your citations, because that is what's going to control basically what you see, for instance, in things that are not Google. You've got Perplexity. You've got Bing. Bing, of course, sources it from himself. And then you've got ChatGPT, which is the big monster, right? Well, that big monster is using a combination of Yelp and aggregators. Go do a search. Do a search for best pizza near me. The results will be crappy, by the way. At least for me, it showed me a bunch of closed places.
Yeah, it's not good. It still doesn't get the near me proximity type stuff.
Yeah, not yet. I think there's too much nuance there. But we've also seen too, I mean, it's like, look at the results of the studies that are being done. You know, it's still 90%, I think, is like 89% is what will trigger a generative AI overview. And it's all informational queries.
Yep.
It's not transactional queries. So I think local search is here to stay. I think it is very well protected at this point. I think the existing systems that we have are going to continue to work, again, until the device that we're searching on changes. That is going to be a whole nother story.
Yep. All right. Next question for you, since we are limited on time, comes from Henry. Is Henry here today? Henry's here today. Nice job, Henry. Showing back up to hear your answer. Wow. Henry's question is, do you have any tips or best practices for local SEO heat map software or competitor analysis? Should these services be offered in a standard local SEO package, or should we consider adding a premium package?
All right. So you've got a couple different sort of places where you can go to get this data, right? You can use Places Scout, you can use Local Falcon, you can use Bright Local, right? I mean, those are the ones that I think are the quote unquote industry standard that we have. Which one you use is completely up to you. Each one of the systems has its own kind of reasons for picking it. Me personally, I love Local Falcon. I think Jan and his team, is Jan here? Actually, Jan's not here. But Jan and the team have done an excellent job with Local Falcon. You know, it's even using Anthropic basically to divine some AI type of insights, which actually seem a little bit accurate for the most part, right? But should you include them, or should you include and make a premium package? It's up to your customers, man. You shouldn't be asking us that. You should be asking your customers. How we do it, at least, is we include it. It's not that expensive. What about you, buddy? What do you guys do?
Well, Henry, when you say local SEO heat map software, are you talking about the like grid map track type thing? Or are you talking about heat map on the website to see what customers are interacting with? GeoGrid. Yeah. Right. Yeah, but he already covered it then. Personally, I like Places Scout the best, but everyone's going to have their own personal preference on what to use. Whether you include that. So when you say competitor analysis, is that also what you mean? Are you asking how do you do the GeoGrid stuff, and then how do you also do competitor analysis? Because that might be something different as well.
I have a feeling he's talking about the GeoGrid. Like,
if we're all talking GeoGrid, then yeah. I do that for all of my clients, but we do not share ranking information with any of our clients because ranking is not a metric that relates to the bottom line. And a lot of people get misled on you need to show, or they want to show up for these 4 terms because it's some vanity keyword that they think matters, even though it may not even be a transactional keyword that converts for them. That's what they care about. And they're going to lose their mind if they were green in 20 dots and this month they're only green in 15 dots. And that grid's not even accurate for what all humans see in that area anyway. So we don't share ranking information even on a grid level with clients at all. So should you include it in your package? Your team should be doing it anyway, because like at a high level, you should be tracking visibility and seeing that the changes that you're making have a positive impact. But whether you include it with your package or not is, like Ben said, it's up to you whether you want to share it with clients or not. I don't think, I mean, if you want to try to charge extra for it, you could, but most people out there that do share that information with clients, they just share it with clients. They don't charge more to share it with clients.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you've got to be able to show clients something, right? And so at least with our clients, I mean, we've been in business now 12 years. It's like every couple of years we ask our customers, do these reports mean anything to you? Do you still want to see them? And they go, yeah, it's just one data point. You know, great. Call still doing good? Yep. Okay. Yeah. Sounds good. You know,
that's the big question you should be always asking. You still getting phone calls? You still selling shit? Because that's all that really matters to them. All the other stuff in your report, I can almost guarantee you your contact doesn't care. And for sure, the business owner doesn't care. They just care, is the phone ringing and are they selling stuff?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Again, it's only one data point. So just make sure the customers understand that. All right. So now what we have is, Greg, we've got 4 questions in the Q&A, and we have 1 roast. I'm going to say let's hold on to the roast.
Let's hold on to the roast. I like that one. I think, Nate, do you feel like we already answered your question on showing up in AI? Because I don't want to assume that we answered it well enough when we went through it a minute ago. Yep. Okay, we're beating the dead horse, which means the next question would be, oh, this is a good one. Christy's question. I like this one.
All right. Well, good, because it's for you.
All right.
Okay. So let's see. Is Christy still here? Did she leave? Or is she still here? Let's see.
Hopefully,
let's find
Christy's
out.
still here.
Yep, she's still here.
Christy's still here. All right.
All right. So I'm trying to get access to my client's GBP. The person who set it up has passed away, and no one has access to the email associated with the listing. How am I going to do this, Greg?
Super easy. You go through the normal process. So you go in and put your information in like you're trying to set up the profile, or depending if the profile has the own this business question link, you can send it through that. Otherwise, just go to google.com/business, enter the information. It'll say this profile already exists. And you say, yeah, I'd like to request an ownership transfer. And it's going to send the ownership transfer to that person who has passed, and no one's monitoring that email. And after 3 days, when no response happens, Google's going to come back and say there's been no response. Would you like to verify and claim this location? Then you just verify and claim the location and you're good to go.
Yeah. Although there is a caveat, and that is Christy, storefront or service area based business?
Ooh, good question.
No, Nate, it can be 7 days, but it's 3 days is you can actually go ahead and start the takeover actually at 3 days. Yeah. Okay. So it is storefront.
You'll be able to do it real easy.
Yeah. It's a very simple, a very easy process. If it's a service area based business, not so much.
Okay, do you really have to go at 12:30, or can we lightning around these last 2 and knock them out?
No, we are lightning this because we owe John an answer now.
All right, John's question for you is, hey fellas, I asked this weeks ago, so I think I missed the answer. I'm wondering about villa-specific local listings. There are tons of these, but the listings generally don't have branding and may just say 2-bedroom beachfront villa, etc. My question is, can a hotel create these listings for their resort villas? Would you need to leave brand name off of the listing to avoid getting marked as a duplicate down the road?
Yeah, that's a good question. So the short answer to this is they do not qualify for a Google Business Profile. That's the short answer. The longer answer is that you have to go through Google Hotels to get the villa listed. Okay. The process for that is just go to Google Maps. You can add your GBP to Google Maps, and then you go to Google Hotels and you register basically, and it'll connect the two. That's actually how it has to be as far as the process goes. Google has an entire, of course, Google support doc for this entire thing. I know, and by the way, it sucks too, because people are just like, well, how come I can't do it? They did it. Well, they also might have done it before Google Hotels existed. There's a lot of different things that can happen. But yeah, I mean, if they just try to add the villas themselves, they'll end up getting suspended. I once had a hotel. I don't know if you've seen this. If you've seen this one, Greg, had a hotel that literally some asshat, I'm going to use the word, went to Google Maps and added every single room for the hotel to Google Maps.
Get out of town. Seriously?
Seriously. And they were able to, because they weren't getting them verified, they were just adding them.
That gets one of these.
Exactly. And so that was the conundrum is that the hotel itself was suspended, but all these rooms were still live because they're unclaimed. And so you can't get reinstated because all the rooms were live.
Wow. What a pain in the butt that must have been.
It was a freaking horrible is what it was.
Yeah.
Hotness. That's an understatement, John. It is an understatement. But yeah. So anyway, that's the way you do it, basically. And Greg, we have our last question. And this one is for you. And it's from Greg. So
must be a good question then.
It's got to be a good question. Greg's a great name. All right. So just started seeing GBP Activities as an option. Seems very similar to Posts. I know what you know what this one is, right?
You're talking about the bar and restaurant thing?
No. This is the new event Posts, I think, is what he's talking about, because they are out in the wild now. So
probably that's what this is.
Probably.
But the other weird part is at the end, Greg says he was able to add an HVAC company and it now says booking options, which booking options is not at all related to the activity post.
No, it's not.
So, Greg, is this two different questions? One is about the activities thing and the other one is about the booking options for your HVAC? Because those two aren't the same.
Or, Greg, do you want to just show us what the listing is so we can take a look at it?
Yeah, that too. If you want to send us the link, we can do that if they're related. All right, there we go.
Oh, that's interesting. It does have its own little block for booking options.
Oh, okay. That is weird. That looks like that's an ad thing, though, isn't it?
No.
It looks like it's an ad. That's weird.
No, it's pulling it directly from their website. It's interesting. I'll say that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is a misuse of it somehow, because if you click the three dots, it's a Tickets are ranked based on factors, but mainly by price and landing page quality. Official tickets are given preference in the ranking. Ticket suppliers don't pay Google to appear in these search results and can't pay to influence their ranking. So this is like tickets, and then tickets are based on standard adult entry and this is for like an event, not for booking. That's interesting.
Yeah, it looks like it just looks like some kind of a limited test, if you ask me.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, because that shouldn't be there for sure for an HVAC company.
That's definitely new.
Yeah, Greg, here we go.
Get to the chopper!
Except not really, because nobody. I just did it because he asked for the sounds, and I'm excited to have him back. Yeah, I mean, like, nobody on the forum is going to be able to help because, like Ben said, it's probably just a test.
Yeah, I think it's a test.
That feature's for sure not available in any of the profiles for our clients.
All right. With all that being said, yeah, I do need to go. So I think we're done for today. Yes.
Well, make sure, everyone, that you submit us questions so that when we're back a month from now, don't forget, no episode 2 weeks from now. We got a month to get questions. Let's get some pre-submitted questions in or some URLs to roast. So we'll have an awesome return episode in a month.
Exactly. And hey, just saying, if we get enough roasts, right? Which I'm thinking 10 minutes per roast, maybe. So let's get 6.
Do a whole roast episode?
Yeah, do a roasting episode.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Roast Fest 2025.
The Roast Fest. And then we might even be able to bring in maybe a special guest and such for that as well. Replays, Marcia, you can go for Local Marketing Institute on YouTube. Or you can just go to localmarketinginstitute.com and you can see all the replays there too. So, all right, everybody. With that being said, that is another episode on the books. Thank you all for coming. Thank you, Juan, for putting that in there. Have a great, happy, safe Memorial Day weekend. And yeah, we'll see you guys in a couple weeks.
And enjoy Universal, my friend.
Oh, yes, definitely. Pictures.
Yeah, for sure.
You got it. Okay, buddy.
Take care, everybody.
See ya.